Alright, hello everybody, welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and once again we're taking a look at the Galleria at White Plains, located in White Plains, New York. Now, unfortunately, we have learned some very sad and unfortunate news. That's right, the Macys store, which used to be the Abraham and Straus store, will be closing by mid-2021, so the Galleria at White Plains is in some serious trouble of becoming a dead mall. That will be another video that I will be posting at some point either today or tomorrow. This Macys store, once again, as I just said before, used to be the Abraham and Straus store, which was A&S. This is like the Sears. This Macys has very, very, very interesting building architecture. And I mean, you can tell just by letting it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Macys store at the mall at Short Hills, but again, these were both Abraham and Straus stores. It's a real shame that this store is closing. So we'll get a street view, and then we'll go over the little image I have. This literally, we just found out about this. I would say just a little bit over an hour ago. There is the customer pickup for Macys at White Plains. There's a Coach USA bus, by the way. The Macys backstage sign. So the problem with this store was it never got renovated. But it was still a pretty cool store. I mean, you got to remember, this was the old Abraham and Straus for Westchester County. It is an absolute shame that it is closing. But now, because the store is closing, it's just more the reason to visit the Galleria at White Plains, because now both Macys and Sears are closing at the mall. It's a real shame, too, that this Macys store is closing, because this is another pretty cool architecture building that is the sign for Macys backstage. And then on the corner here, we have, did not mean to go there. We got all these freaking pedestrians. Yeah, there's one of the older Macys signs with the Macys backstage entrance into the store. Yeah, this is another one of those really cool 1980s architecture buildings, and I'm definitely now going to try and visit this store. This has an Otis Lexan traction, and that's going away now, unfortunately. Again, this was part of all the planned closures that Macys had. So I'm definitely going to try now and get to this store in particular. And the Sears, because now they're both going to be closing this year. It's almost like what happened with Nanuet, except both closed. Well, no, both did close in 2019. Now Macys and Sears are closing in White Plains in the same year. Pretty ironic. But this is a pretty freaking cool building. You can just see here. You got this is probably the east entrance into the store. And then you can go along here and you can see some of this beautiful building. And I believe right around here, this is where it used to say Abraham and Straus. Not 100% sure, but I believe that's where it was. You could see where they have the markings, where I think at one point it did used to say Abraham and Straus, or A&S for short. And then this is another entrance. So that was back there was the northeast entrance, and this is the southeast entrance of the building. Yeah, this is a pretty freaking cool building. A lot more attractive looking than, say, the Sears building was. But again, it's a real shame that this store is closing. You know, like I said, this is a lot of jobs that are going to be lost. This is an old Macys sign that was placed, I believe, and same thing with these two, in the year of 1995, when Macys merged with A&S and Macys got a location in White Plains. So again, it is really sad that this store is closing. You know, I wish all the employees, you know, the best of luck of finding a new job. I know it's not going to be difficult. I mean, I know it's going to be difficult given the pandemic. But it is a shame that this mall is losing both Macys and Sears. But Sears is closing a lot earlier, as that closure was announced last year, and this closure was announced this year. So we'll get a quick 3D view of the building, and then we'll move on to the other parts. So right here we have the lovely Macys. This is the southeast entrance of the building, of the store. It's pretty freaking cool, I gotta say. It's a pretty cool looking Macys. That used to be an Abraham and Straus. And then over here, this is the part where the Macys store on the west portion of the mall that is actually connected to the actual shopping mall itself. And of course, we have the north part of the store, with the Macy's backstage sign and customer pickup as well in the north part of the store. And you got this little other area up here by the parking deck as well. And then finally you have the east part, which contains 2 Macy's signs. There are actually 3 regular Macy's signs on the building, with one being Macy's backstage. So yeah, so now I'm going to show you guys where I got my information from. This actually came from Twitter. This was tweeted about an hour ago. So this was a screenshot. So here's what it says. After careful consideration, Macy's has decided to close the White Plains Galleria location. This closure is part of the company's strategy announced in early 2020. Macy's has previously shared this information with our valued colleagues, regular, non-seasonal colleagues who are unable to place at a nearby Macy's store will be eligible for severance, including outplacement resources. A clearance sale will begin in January and run for approximately 8 to 12 weeks, kind of what they did when they were closing the Macy's store at the Broadway Commons Mall, although it could be shortened if we, depending on the state of the pandemic. The decision to close the store is always a difficult one, but Macy's White Plains Galleria is honored to have served our customers and the community, as well as being an A&S, over the past 40 years, and we look forward to continuing to do so at the Macy's Cross County Shopping Center in Yonkers, New York, Macy's Palisade Center in West Nyack, Clarkstown, New York, and the Macy's at Stamford Town Center in Stamford, Connecticut, online at Macys.com or on the Macy's app. So this is quite devastating to see this Macy's go. Like I said, this is a pretty cool Macy's. Again, this used to be the old Abraham and Straus for Westchester County, so it's quite a shame to see that going. And for all the employees working at this store, I wish the absolute best of luck of finding a new job. I know it's going to be difficult, but hopefully you can pick up something as quick as possible, because this store is going to close at some point in the middle of the year. I would say that this store is probably going to close between March and April. Again, that is subject to change depending on the state of the pandemic, unfortunately. So I can't really make a prediction of when the store is going to close. But right now we know it is going to close. That whole screenshot there pretty much confirms that Macy's is officially leaving White Plains. So anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Again, I will give you guys not only the link to the screenshot, but also a link to the tweet that was tweeted out on Twitter. And when there is an article available around tomorrow, I will give you guys further details regarding the Macy's store closing in White Plains. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that will be it.